Bridge right now.
What state was that? Or city?
Well, there's the Brooklyn Bridge. I think you can have it in one guess. Well, why do you make a face like that? Why?
It's foggy in the damn summer.
It is foggy. Yeah, it happens when there's a lot of humidity. And then it's cold in the morning.
It's foggy in the summer, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
We're in London, apparently. But, yeah, it's the weather here, man, has not been great. By the way, we upset some people when we were talking about Maine yesterday.
What we did? What happened?
Remember we were talking with Dominique Foxworth about...
I didn't say anything bad about Maine. I just said it's all the same.
Yeah, no, it was me.
Oh, you said something bad. What happened? Somebody got mad at you?
A lot of people.
Social media?
Who are from Maine.
Social media.
Yes. Because, well, first of all, we were saying that, like, I guess you and Neek were saying it's the same thing as Cape Cod.
Please. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Well, it is to me.
But anyways, it was just, it was as if I was disparaging Maine, and I was not. There's just a difference in if you're going to Cape Cod, there's one, you're going there for one purpose, but if you're going to Maine, it's like a different kind of purpose. You know,
right. I've never been to Maine, so it just seems.
I haven't. And
seems to be the same to me.
By the way, here in New York, that's not fog. We call it hazy. And later it'll be hazy, hot, and humid, which I know you probably love all of that.
It's fine. It's not 2 weeks ago.
Well, Jay Will tells us in Milwaukee it's actually cool. So that's a good thing. He's enjoying the weather there. But we got to wait a day to the NBA Finals. So with that said, it made me kind of wonder, and speaking of social media, I was seeing this kind of kicked around on social media. What is the deal? What is the deal? Here I go with going Seinfeld on you. Well, what is the story with Giannis and the fact that we debate his greatness, but then I always go back to the Ohtani thing. Talent recognizes talent. Like you probably with wide receivers, same thing. Like you watch players and you know who's legit and who's not, right? Just your eye will tell you. So you'll acknowledge somebody that maybe everybody else doesn't know is great, but you know this guy is good. Like this guy's the deal.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that.
Right? Okay, because you have the eye for it. So I generally will fall back to that. When I see players, especially great players, react to certain players, I'm like, all right. What I don't see on social media from great players, the LeBrons of the world, all those guys, I'll see them go nuts about something. You know, Damian Lillard hits a shot, they all go crazy, right? Steph Curry does something. LeBron does something. You know, Harden has a KD. Whatever it is you see on social media, those guys with the blue checks, they all react.
The blue checks.
When Giannis has back-to-back 40-point games in the finals, it feels like the only people that react are media. It's just like I was wondering, like, what's going on there? What's the story? I asked a whole bunch of people that I know, guys, former players, current players, NBA yesterday. And I asked them, like, am I wrong? Because Jay yesterday was upset that we were talking about Giannis in a way that we don't see him as an all-time great despite what he's doing right now in the finals.
Well, Jay is our NBA guy, and he does a great job at doing it. He works hard at doing it. But, see, there's always a but there.
Yeah.
You can't use people like Shaq and Giannis in the same breath. It's just not – it's not right. It's not the same.
I agree.
And you may look the same based on some missed free throws to you, but when you looking at it, at least for me, a guy that's only competed in professional football at the highest level, not professional basketball, but I certainly played enough basketball to know basketball. And I think I could get a blue check mark as a basketball guy.
Okay.
When I watch Giannis, his skill set is such that if he don't put his shoulders down and go to the cup, I ain't got nothing else to worry about. That's one thing. That's it.
That's literally what one player who I talked to, current player who has rings, told me that's the thing, that Giannis is a terrific player. He's a great guy.
And this is not, so that you know,
marvelous athleticism.
This is not a script that you and I are talking about.
No.
I didn't just script that for you to say what you said.
No.
I just see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
If I'm not putting my shoulders down, Giannis has nothing else that makes me go, wow. I'm not like wowed, right? Even when he spinned on Crowder the other night and dunked the ball, it didn't even get me out my seat. If Shaq would have dunked it, I would have been like, damn, he get ready to break the rim.
Yes.
It was just I don't know what it is, man.
That's what I was trying to figure out. And that's what one player one of the several players I talked to.
I see you looking at your notes.
I wanted to make sure I wrote down everything chicken scratch, by the way. But I wanted to make sure I just had it right. But it was just like, you respect him, but it's not like he's hitting he doesn't get hot and hit a bunch of threes and like get into his bag. Like it's just that. It's that his length and athleticism gets it done. I had all these different reactions. One former player from the 90s, you know what he told me? He goes, you know what happens? He goes, old guys like me, this guy's an MVP, defensive player of the year, never guards the other team's best player. And it's hard to, like, you watch it going, come on, go check that guy. And you just don't see it, and it frustrates you. So you feel like that's a little bit, maybe the respect gets lost there. But another guy said to me, plain and simple, he goes, see James Harden's comments. That's how people really feel. That's how, like, the elite players feel about him. So let's go back to that. James Harden, as you remember, this goes back to when Giannis won the MVP in 2019.
Plus, he hasn't won anything
yet.
So I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.
But Harden kind of is speaking for, I think, a lot of the NBA elite. At least that's what one guy said to me. He goes, go see what he said and go see that whole beef. So Giannis beat Harden for the MVP in 2019. Harden wasn't happy about it. And in one of the comments, he said right after that, I think once the media creates a narrative about somebody from the beginning of the year, they take that narrative and run with it. Because, media does vote on the MVP. Mm-hmm. Giannis's response was, well, that's their opinion. The trophy's in my house. So it starts a little beef there. So now All-Star happens in 2020, and Giannis is one of the captains. He's picking a team with LeBron. And you remember this was on TNT, it was on national TV, that when he's trying to pick players, he actually passes on James Harden and was going with Kemba Walker or Trae Young instead. And when Charles Barkley asked him, wait, you don't want the dribbler, meaning James Harden, he said, I want somebody who's going to pass the ball. And so that got ugly, right? So it goes from there to James Harden in a sit-down with Rachel Nichols, and this is from just after that in February 2020. James Harden's reaction to Giannis, this was pretty strong.
I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all. I got to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill, I take that any day.
Wow. We forget about that, right?
I don't, I get it.
I actually have to know how to play basketball with skill.
He dropped out. Well, talk about a home run.
Now, the pandemic happened like a month after it, so this kind of went away.
No, I get it.
But when we're watching Giannis in the finals right now, we're wondering, and I even asked some players, like, why can't I get into this? And it's that same feeling that there's no doubt he's an athletic marvel. He's an athletic talent. But
he's athletic.
There's not a lot of great respect at the very top of the game for this guy.
It's not a lot of. He has a lot of athletic talent for his size. There's no question about it. He doesn't have. He's a great show story. A lot of basketball skills, like James saying. Mm-hmm. But is that wrong because he's a 7-footer, and he does what his size will allow him to do, and that's all you. I guess that's all you need from him.
That's it. What he's got.
But
he's doing the most with.
There it is again.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily respect that based on the hype and all the accolades that he gets. So it becomes problematic in that situation because real recognizes real. We could equate it to certain. We're running out of time, and I got to get to this break. But we certainly could have this conversation and go dive into football.
Let's do it.
About different positions, about the way you look at certain guys in football.
Yeah, I do think it's relatable, very relatable to football, and we'll carry this conversation over with you. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Again, a reminder, coverage of Game 4 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can hear it right here on ESPN Radio. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. You can save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com. So again, does Giannis deserve more respect, especially from his peers, the very top of the league, or is James Harden right? We'll discuss that after Key has this from Straight Talk.
It's time for some Straight Talk. We've all